Can somebody tell me what church Kanye West is a member of? Can somebody tell me? I would love to know that. He's not yoked up with the local church. He's not yoking up with Orthodox people. I mean, he doesn't have to be an independent fundamental premillennial against everything Baptist like me. I'm not asking for that. I'm just at least asking him to yoke up with somebody who makes some sort of biblical sense and has some sort of semblance to Bible Christianity. Get away from these Joel Osteen psychos like that he's doing now. If he would just get away from that crowd, I would feel a lot better about the guy, but he's not doing that. He's not doing that. He's yoking up with all the wrong crowd. He's running a cult from city to city across this country. It's like some traveling cult circus, and it's like the religion of Kanye. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name cast out devils, in thy name done many wonderful works? Can you just hear the heartbreak of these people where they're saying, Lord, wait a minute. I thought I was okay. We were sincere in what we were doing. I thought it'd be fine. I thought it was okay. I mean, the media told me I was good, and Joel Osteen told me I was okay. Lord, what are you telling me? I got this whole thing wrong? Let's talk about why all of you guys are here. Let's talk about Kanye West. Kanye gonna Kanye. And so, man, just crazy stuff he's been doing. The big issue that happened this week, and I want to just show you just a little bit of footage of this, is Kanye West and his whole, basically, ever since he's professed Christ, he's been going around the country with this choir singing, and just been some wild stuff that he's been involved in. He's really made me nervous. But basically what they did with this week was they went to the place in Georgia. Apparently there's this pond in Fayetteville, and where you can actually, there's a transparent walkway underneath there, and all these people can go out there, and it just looks like they're walking on the water. It's a pretty wild little place. Chris Humphreys and I need to go down there. He gets some photo shoots of me on that thing.
Oh yeah.
But basically Kanye had his whole choir walk out there. And then eventually what happened is that he walked out there with his wife and kids. Now, here's just some footage. I was told it came from something on Instagram, something like that. But a lot of people are just tore to pieces about this because he actually got up there with his wife and his kids, and I'll show you the footage here. And that choir got up and started singing a song called Jesus is Lord to the tune of O Fortuna, the old it's that classical song, and just really weird, bizarre stuff. A lot of people don't realize that O Fortuna was written for and by somebody who was heavily involved in World War II. That German group that fought World War II actually was written by those people, and so people don't realize that. But Kanye got out there, and he looked like he was walking on the water as he went out there and basically did their little choir routine. And these guys are professional singers, and everybody's just tore up about this, and I understand. I didn't like it. I thought this whole thing was weird, what was going on. And they went out there and sang. Let me just see if I can just play a little sound of it. And doesn't really come through. And they're out there singing. And then Mr. Smiley Britches out there, he gets up and he sings. And man, this guy's terrible. That's actually Joel Osteen. And he's out there preaching a message and saying, when I see these people out there sitting, walking, looks like they're walking on the water, and I just believe that all of us have a water that we can walk on for the Lord. I just believe that God has a way for us to get out there and walk on the water by faith, and we have a choice to live with our comfort or live with our calling. And if we're going to have our comfort, we can't walk on the water. And I'm just like, oh gracious. I think that guy puts a couple cups of sugar in his pocket every morning, as sweet as he is. And but everybody just so tore up about Kanye and what he did with the whole this whole deal. And I got to be honest, it doesn't look good. It really doesn't. And so what we have to do as Christian people is we have to kind of figure out what is Kanye? What is this guy? And there's several possibilities, and I just want to give you my thoughts on this. and some of the things that I see on this deal, and I've written down several notes on this, but Kanye is scaring me to death. He really is. I want to be as gracious to him as I can. I want to be as kind to him as I can, because I do want to give room to the idea that maybe he is a false convert, or maybe he is a new convert and just doesn't know. I mean, imagine being 40 years old. You've lived your whole life into the secular music scene, and you've got all this baggage, all these emotional issues, and then all of a sudden you get saved. And so you give a new convert $1 billion, and look at the mess he's going to make. I mean, it really is wild. But I want to make a few things here and just examine some possibilities here. I want to say that I believe Kanye West at best, with all the fruit that we've seen so far in his life, at best, Kanye West is a guy who suffers from mental illness. At very best, I really think he is. And he's admitted that he's bipolar. And I don't say that condemning or being unkind to the man. I'm just saying that there's just something about this, okay? At best, he's bipolar, and he needs a lot of love and a lot of help. But at worst, Kanye West, at his worst, is an end times satanic deception meant to draw Christian people away from the truth. We have a problem today in Christianity, and it is the Christian celebrity conversion Christian celebration. The celebrity conversion Christian celebration. And I'm going to call it the C4 syndrome. Christians today have what I call the C4 syndrome. You can say that I have coined that term. The celebrity conversion Christian celebration syndrome, the C4 syndrome. Now, what happens is, and I was reading a book this week by A.W. Tozer called How to Be Filled with the Holy Spirit, and he made an interesting statement in there. He said that Christianity is not validated by its acceptance or rejection by celebrities or athletes. And I think that's a very important note for us to get. Christianity is not validated or discredited by its acceptance or rejection by celebrities or athletes. And so what happens is that Christian people get so excited when somebody in the news or in sports or in the secular music industry accepts Christ. Supposedly, they just get, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened, because now Kanye is a Christian, as if that is some sort of vindication of Christianity. It's like we were a bunch of weirdos and we were all just keeping all this to ourselves, but now we can just come out of the closet and be like, yeah, hey, we're one of those Kanye Christians. And the funny thing is that they get more excited about some rap star getting saved than they do about some bus kid getting saved. They get more excited about some movie star professing Christ than they do their neighbors professing Christ. They get more excited about some old person that's been around forever in the news or some celebrity saying that they've got religion now than the average person. And I think there's something wrong with that. I think to some degree maybe that is a respecter of persons. And so I want to say this about Kanye. There's a couple things we need to deal with, and just a couple things I want to say preliminary about this. And I want you to know, guys, we have to judge this type of stuff. We have to judge. Now, let me head you off with the past, just in case there be some liberal neo-evangelical watching this broadcast tonight. And they're going to throw away Matthew 7:1 at me and say, you just ought not judge Kanye. Well, if you don't judge Kanye, you're crazy. You're crazy. You ought to. You ought to try to discern what he's doing. But now, Matthew 7 is not a warning against judging. It is a warning against being a hypocrite in your judgment. Now, let's just look at the rest of the verses, since most liberal evangelicals have never read Matthew 7:2 or 3 or 4 or 5. They only know Matthew 7:1, and they only know the first two words of that, and that's all they know of the Bible. They couldn't quote John 3:16, but they can quote Matthew 7:1, and the first two words of that is all they know. So let's get into this for just a moment. For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged. And with what measure you mete, it shall be measured to you again. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye, thou hypocrite? You see it right there? That's what this is all about. First cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then thou shalt see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. And if you'll notice there, what he's saying, he's like, okay, if you're going to judge, you realize people are going to judge you back. And then also, as you judge people, make sure that you realize and you're aware of your own sins while you're dealing with the sins of others. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people today. We're, a lot of Christians today are more concerned about the sin in somebody else's life than the sin in their own life. And really, I know myself. I know I'm a work in progress. Spencer Smith is a guy that got saved, and Jesus is still working on me, and I am very well acquainted of that. So when I say these things about Kanye West, I'm not saying them in a condemning way. I'm not trying to act like I'm better than him. And I'm really not even trying to act like I'm more spiritual than anybody else. I'm just saying that I am aware of my own hypocrisy, but the same, or my own shortcomings, and I want to not be a hypocrite as I do these things, okay? But I want you to go over to 1 Corinthians with me, and the Bible teaches that we have to judge. We have to judge. Now, it says in 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse number 15, it says, "But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of no man." And let's see here. Let's just go right there and just look at that with me for a moment. But he that is spiritual judgeth all things. Can I tell you real fast that if you're going to take your Christian life seriously, you're going to have to learn how to judge and discern things. Another word for judge is discern. Have you ever been around somebody that was serious about their physical fitness? You ever been around somebody like that? Somebody who was, they were training for something, or they were working hard towards some certain physical goal they were trying to do. Maybe they were losing weight, or maybe they were training for a marathon or whatever. People that are doing that are always picky about what they eat. You ever been around somebody like that? They're just like, I can't eat that. And every time they go to the store, they pick up something, and the first thing they do is they pull the product off the shelf and they look at the back of it and they read the nutrition label. The reason they do that is because they want to judge and be careful what they put in their body, because they want to run at a certain level or operate at a certain level. They have certain goals that they're trying to accomplish, and they realize that not everything that you eat can help you accomplish that. For example, if you're going to be an Olympic athlete, I doubt very seriously that you can eat a whole box of Oreos every day. Although if you could be an Olympic athlete and still eat that many Oreos, that would be totally awesome. That would be amazing. I think that would, maybe in the millennial kingdom, we'll be able to do that when we get that glorified body. But the truth is, okay, if you're going to be some sort of athletic something or accomplish some sort of physical goal, you have to be real careful about what you eat. And to discern what is good food and what is bad food, you have to do something called judge. You have to judge food, whether it is something that's going to help you accomplish that goal or something that's detrimental to that goal. And the truth is, if you're going to be a spiritual person, if you're going to be one who wants to walk with God and grow in the grace and knowledge of God, you have to kind of be on a spiritual diet, if I could put it to you that way. You can't just sit there and listen to Metallica all day, every day, and be a spiritual person that's walking with God. You can't be a person that has some sort of fast and loose, crazy internet life, secret internet life, and be a spiritual person and trying to walk with God. You can't be a person that's sitting there and watching everything that comes on TV and be a spiritual person walking with God. You have to judge, and you have to do that, and to do that, you have to be spiritual, and being a spiritual person will make you do that, okay? So here's another thing I want you to see, okay? We're going to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 5, and I'm trying to show you a few things here in the Bible this evening. 1 Corinthians chapter number 5, we have to understand that God places a premium on church purity, on the purity of the church. And look what it says here. I wrote unto you an epistle not to company with that word right there. I won't say it because YouTube will ban me. Yet not altogether with the ones of this world, or with the covetous, or extortioners, or with idolaters, for then must you need to go out of the world. But I've written unto you not keep company if any man that is a brother be a that, or a covetous, or idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, or an extortioner, with such an one know not to eat. So God says, don't listen. You do not need to fellowship with these type of people. But look in verse number 12. For what have I to do to judge them also that are without? He's talking about unsaved people. Do not ye judge them that are within? And he says this, but them that are without God judgeth. Therefore put away from among you that wicked person. And what Paul is talking about there is the concept of church discipline. If you have people that are members of a local church and they're doing wicked, just sinful things, the Apostle Paul says you need to put these people out of your congregation. They don't need to be a member of your church. They just don't need to be. There are certain expectations that are held by a local church, and that if you're involved in all kinds of heinous things, then you certainly cannot be put out of the church. And when it comes to guys like Kanye, we have to kind of ask the question, okay, is this man showing fruit in his life where we need to accept him as one of us? And the only way we can figure that out is if we got to look at the fruit of this man's life, and we have to make a judgment. We have to decide, is this guy showing evidence of being a Christian? Is this guy showing evidence that he's saved? Is this guy showing good fruit in his life? And I got to be honest, I'm giving him all the grace that I can, but I just don't think he is. I think Kanye is really showing a lot of bad fruit in his life. Now, here's some things that I said, and I wrote these little notes down. These are just things off the top of my head that he has done ever since he apparently professed Christ. Okay, first of all, he's married to Kim Kardashian, and Kim Kardashian is like the most immoral woman in the planet. I mean, she's terrible. But look what I wrote this down. Okay. The guy decided out of nowhere he's going to run for president. Who knows what in the world that's all about? He's running on the birthday party, not the Democrat, the Republican. He's running on the birthday party. The birthday party. And it's like a joke. I don't know what he's doing. It's really eccentric, some of the stuff he's doing. He's admitted that he's bipolar. He is making. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but he's got that music video called "Washed in the Blood." It is probably one of the most occultic things I have ever seen. I've got it right here. I'm just going to pull it up here on the screen for everybody to see. But I mean, this man is in his personal life is still making music, and the things that are being shown in his music videos that he is making and producing are so out there that it really makes you question, is this guy a spirit-filled Christian? Is he at least a born-again person? Now, he puts like church elements inside of his videos, and I'm just going to set this right here down near me, but I mean, there's church-like things, like this lady singing in a church, and that kind of stuff's in there, but man, there's just really bizarre occultic stuff. Like, I don't know what in the world that is with his face that's going on, but that is really weird, and then he just got all kinds of just weird stuff in there. And we used a lot of this in our intro video, but I don't even know what he's doing there. What is that all about? I mean, I'll give the guy all the grace that I can, but it seems like this man is in some sort of spiritual deception. There are videos of him out there where he is dressed up like a blue guy, dressed up like a silver guy. And there's a lot of parallels there to Masonry, and some of the things that he's into has really shown some really wild fruit. I mean, here's some of his Sunday services where everybody's best dressed up like there's some sort of Scientology cult, and out there singing in the middle of nowhere. I mean, this thing is bizarre. I mean, who dresses like that? I mean, it's just, I don't get it. But I mean, I've got lots of videos that I want to show you on this stuff, and so that's going on. He's having these epic meltdowns. He was having a presidential rally in South Carolina, and he got up there and was screaming about his wife wanting to end the pregnancy of one of their just bizarre stuff that he's talking about. And if you go to his Twitter page, I'm gonna pull it up. This is probably a dangerous thing to do on a live stream, but I'm gonna pull up his Twitter page, and some of the stuff that he posts on Twitter are just nonsense stuff that he posts. I mean, I see here. I'm just going to pull this up, but I mean, this is, and by the way, guys, we're competing with Thursday Night Football right now, so don't you dare log out of this live stream to go watch that, man. So, Johnny, but let's go. You know, he just posts all kinds of wild stuff on there all the time, and I just don't know what he's into. It's almost like. It really is almost, and I say this kindly, it's almost like this man has lost touch with reality. This is almost beyond eccentric. It's almost like a mental illness type thing. He made a Christian album about Jesus that had cuss words in it. That's really weird. And and just there's so many things there that I could talk about. But one of the weirdest things he did recently was this whole walk on the water stuff. I think that his video on Wash Us in the Blood is really, really bad. And I don't have footage of him actually walking on the water because there's a lot of copyright stuff with that. But this whole stunt that he pulled here really was weird, and I just don't get it. And the funny thing is that while he's out there walking his family out to that circle area where the choir's saying, they're singing O Fortuna, singing Jesus is Lord, and he's walking out there. It's just bizarre. The whole thing's weird. And I compare it to Bible-believing Christianity. Everybody says, this could be the next Apostle Paul. No, everybody's got to settle down. You have C4 syndrome, okay? Celebrity conversion, Christian celebration syndrome. You have that syndrome. It's not good. Christianity is not validated or discredited by its acceptance or rejection by celebrities. Please get that through your head. That's not how Christianity works. That's not how the Bible works. And so Kanye West, I really wish the best for him. I really hope he's saved. I don't want anybody to die and go to hell. I just don't. But this guy is showing weird fruit in his life. Now, if we go to Acts chapter number 9, we'll see what happened in the Apostle Paul life, his life there. And everybody wants to compare Kanye to the Apostle Paul and all that stuff. And okay, sure, you want to do that? Well, let's go see what happened when Paul got saved. Okay, he got knocked off his high horse, and then he struck blind and went there and saw a man named Cornelius, and then later on you see that Saul was certain day with the disciples which were at Damascus. And by the way, here it says in verse number 18, there fell forth from his eyes been scales and received sight forthwith, and arose and was baptized. Okay, so the Apostle Paul got baptized after he got saved by immersion, mind you, and I believe the Apostle Paul was a Baptist. Okay. And he went and sat with the disciples for a little while, and he preached Christ afterwards, okay? Here's the thing, one of the things that really gets me about Kanye West is the people that he's running with. He is not running with sound people. He is not running with orthodox people. He is preaching and having fellowship with only modernists. And for him to have Joel Osteen come do his service for him, to me is not good at all. I just am not comfortable with that. The fact that Joel Osteen's he's been at Joel Osteen's church and performed there, and then also Joel Osteen got out there and walked on the water with everybody, and gave his little inspirational ditty and all that kind of stuff. Guys, I'm really troubled by that because birds of a feather flock together, and you are who you run with. I really feel like Kanye West has become nothing more than an end times New Apostolic Reformation deception. He has been one that is being used right now of Satan to have everybody let their guard down and say, oh, man, this is wonderful. Kanye, he's saying some good things. He is saying some good things. But you have to understand that the deception of this day and age is so clever. It's not black and white anymore. That's not how this is working in these days. It's white and off-white. That's how deception works. And you have to know this book right here. If you do not know this book, you will be made prey for Satan. You will be made prey. You've got to know this Bible, and you got to know what it says. Because if not, you'll be just like any other liberal neo-evangelical out there. You'll have C4 syndrome, celebrity conversion Christian celebration. C4 syndrome. I need to do a whole video on that, C4 syndrome. That'll be really good. And I'm going to get that quote up from Tozer here after a while. And but guys, I'm telling you, I want to be as gracious as he can to Kanye West. And I know that there's going to be people out there that may disagree with me strongly, and they have the right to voice their opinion on that stuff. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But I want to tell you guys, nothing right now in Kanye West's life is lining up with Bible Christianity. Nothing in his life is, he's got all the wrong friends. He's doing all the wrong things. Can somebody tell me what church Kanye West is a member of? Can somebody tell me? I would love to know that. He's not yoked up with the local church. He's not yoking up with Orthodox people. I mean, he doesn't have to be an independent fundamental premillennial against everything Baptist like me. I'm not asking for that. I'm just at least asking him to yoke up with somebody who makes some sort of biblical sense and has some sort of semblance to Bible Christianity. Get away from these Joel Osteen psychos like that he's doing now. If he would just get away from that crowd, I would feel a lot better about the guy, but he's not doing that. He's not doing that. He's yoking up with all the wrong crowd. He's running a cult from city to city across this country. It's like some traveling cult circus, and it's like the religion of Kanye. Nothing's adding up with this guy. Nothing is adding up at all. I wish that was not the truth, but that's really what's happening, and I hate to say that. So, but that's basically what's happened with Kanye. Chris Humphreys has something to say. Hey, what you got?
So I kind of Googled it. Talking about you have to have an invite to go to his church. Yeah,
I do remember that. Like Kim Kardashian said that this is not some open thing.
Yeah, it's not. It's closed doors. That's really strange.
And like I watched the Entertainment Tonight video, and it was like, all his rapper friends, like 2 Chainz was there, and Kim Kardashian, her lady, whatever Jezebel lady friends were all there with her. And guys, none of this. I don't say this as some sort of self-righteous rant. Please forgive me if it comes across that way. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that I'm comparing what I'm seeing with Kanye West, and I'm comparing it with his Bible, and I'm telling you it doesn't add up. And so he that spiritual judgeth all things. You have to. You just can't say, well, he means well, and he has nothing in common with the Bible whatsoever, but he means well. That is not enough. You can be sincere and sincerely wrong. And I'm sure if you go to Matthew chapter 7, this is really one of the most heartbreaking things in all the Bible, and really one of the scariest things you'll see in all the Bible. A lot of these judge not crowd, they only know 2 words of Matthew chapter 7, but they forget to go down to verse number 21. And he says this, not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many, it doesn't say few, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you that work iniquity. So these 3 verses here, Matthew 7, 21 through 23, it's talking about a crowd of people at the final day of judgment who are going to die and go to hell, and Jesus never knew them, but they were so sincere. They were so sincere. They said, Lord, wait a minute, Lord, you're about to send us to hell. Lord, didn't we preach? Didn't we prophesy? Didn't we do all these casting out devils and done many wonderful works? I mean, can you hear the heart of these people in Matthew 7:22? Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name cast out devils, in thy name done many wonderful works? Can you just hear the heartbreak of these people where they're saying, Lord, wait a minute. I thought I was okay. We were sincere in what we were doing. I thought it'd be fine. I thought it was okay. I mean, the media told me I was good, and Joel Osteen told me I was okay. Lord, what are you telling me? I got this whole thing wrong? And the Lord's going to say that to him in verse 23. And then I'll profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Oh, Lord, can you imagine that? Can you imagine being so sincere your whole life? You grew up in a church. They baptized you. You sung the hymns. Maybe sometimes you sang in the church. You gave. You helped out. You fed the hungry. You did all these nice little things. And then at the end of the road, you die and go to hell. Can that be possible? Can this passage be so true? Can that really be what's going to happen to many people in that day? And it just seems so terrible, doesn't it? It seems so horrible that would actually happen to anybody. But that's what it says. And so I don't judge Kanye, and I don't judge and discern these things because I'm some sort of guy on YouTube trying to prove that I'm better than everybody else. I'll let other people do that. There's a lot of folks that are trying to do that, and I think sometimes they try to lump me into that crowd, and I guess maybe from where they're coming from, that makes sense to them, I'm sure. But I'm not trying to just get on here and just start a fight for the sake of wanting to start a fight. I hate fighting with people. And there are people out there who have watched my videos, and they have had such a strong reaction to my videos that they've made a video about me. And people think that I just glory in that. The only person I've ever known that could glory in that was Steven Anderson, and he was just a nut. It was like the more you attacked him, the more he loved it. And I'm not that way. I don't love it. I'm not some sociopath who just loves to just wake up every morning and say, "Hey, what kind of controversy can I start on the internet today?" You know, there are people out there that are like that. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. I'm one that says, look, knowing Christ and being saved is so important and so meaningful and so specific that you don't want to get this wrong. You don't want to get this wrong. You can be wrong about a lot of things and still go to heaven. But if you're wrong about the new birth and you're wrong about being born again, then you're going to be in this crowd. Lord, wait a minute. Lord, I listened to Third Day albums. Lord, I had Casting Crowns out. Lord, I went to Mass every Sunday. Lord, wait a minute. I voted for Donald Trump. I mean, whatever you want to throw out there. If you've never been born again, and if your new birth doesn't look like something that's in this Bible, then you better check up. You better check up on that. I want to go back to 2 Corinthians, and Paul dealt with these people at Corinth extensively, and I want to show you this. 2 Corinthians chapter number 13, and Paul gives his final admonition to these people, and he says this. I want you to see this, okay? He says, "Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobates." That's one of the few times that the word reprobate is used in the Bible. But he's saying this. He's saying, look, examine yourself. Check yourself out. Look at your conversion, the experience that you're holding to. Look at that and ask yourself, is this biblical, what I'm holding to? Is this biblical? I know so many Baptist church kids that are going to die and go to hell trusting the fact that they prayed some prayer when they were 4 and 5 and 6 years old, and they have no fruit of salvation in their life. And by the way, this goes far beyond Kanye West. Kanye West just happens to be one of the most famous people in the world right now, and everybody's talking about him. This brings up a larger issue in Christianity. There are people out there who believe the Bible, believe in God, but they've never truly been saved. And some of them are even members of churches. Examine yourself, whether you be in the faith. Paul's saying this. You better make sure that you know that you're saved, because being in church doesn't make you a Christian. One time while I was out there in Western Africa, in Eastern Kenya, and East Africa, Western Kenya, and I went out there to preach in a church out there in the village, and it was a great blessing. A lot of people showed up from the town, and man, it was a wonderful thing. And I just happened to be wearing a green shirt that day. And I made the illustration to that crowd of people. I said, look, I'm wearing a green shirt, and I have a green tie on. I'm going to go jump in the river and tell everyone that I'm a crocodile. And the whole church just started laughing. I mean, they all just laughed. And I said, you know, you what would you people think if a Muzungu, which is Swahili for white man, what would you people think if a Muzungu was swimming out in the river with a green shirt and a green tie on, swimming and telling everybody that he was a crocodile? And one of the women in the church piped up and said, they would say, "You are foolish, Muzungu." And I said, yeah, amen. That would be foolish. And then I looked at that crowd and I said, some of you think that just because you're inside of a kanisa, katika kanisa, which is inside of a church in Swahili, some of you think that just because you're inside of a church that you're a Christian. And I said, you being inside of a church doesn't make you a Christian no more than me being in the river with a green shirt on makes me a crocodile. You have to be born again. You have to be saved. You have to be one who's had the new birth. And that's our message tonight to you about Kanye. We're going to examine Kanye, but I want you to examine yourself as well. Have you ever been born again? Know you not your own selves how that Jesus Christ is in you, except you be reprobates? Do you have a Bible reason as to why you're saved? Can I go into a little bit of overtime here? 2 Corinthians chapter 5 is the verse that God gave me to prove to me that I was saved. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, therefore, if any man be in Christ, he's a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. And that was the verse that God gave me that showed me from the Bible that I'm saved. Do you have a Bible reason as to why you're saved? Or do you just believe, are you trusting in some prayer that you had years ago? I pray that you'd consider this matter. Even as we consider Kanye, won't you consider yourself as well? It's very important, guys. You don't want to be those guys in Matthew 7:21 say, Lord, Lord, wait a minute, Lord. Whoa, hang on. I thought I was okay. Matthew 7:21, many shall say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? Lord, all these nice, good things we did. He said, we prophesied thy name, and thy name cast out devils, and thy name done many wonderful works. And then I'll profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. I pray that you would get that settled tonight if you haven't done so. And so Kanye West, is he a Christian? I just don't think he is. He's not showing any good Bible fruit in his life. The truth is, maybe some of you are out there and you're watching this, you don't have any fruit either. I pray that you get that settled tonight. So let's do this. I want to remind you again, guys, for those who join the channel tonight, you can support this channel for as little as $1.99 a month. For those who join the channel tonight, we're going to put your name in a drawing for somebody who can win a copy of Calling Evil Good, the live Christian rock and roll. We will do that at the end of the broadcast is what we'll do, and get that all together. And so if you join the channel tonight, your name will be put in a drawing for Calling Evil Good, the live Christian rock and roll, a free copy of that. That'll be a great blessing. And so, guys, we will be right back. We're going to play just a quick commercial for you, and we'll be right back. Don't go away. We're going to talk about the persecution of American churches. A lot of churches are under attack. We're going to talk about John MacArthur, Jack Trieber, and we're going to talk about several other things that are happening right now. There's actually a lot of things going on in the United Kingdom right now, and we want to make you aware of that so that you can pray. God bless you, friend. We will be right back. Hey guys, your friend Spencer here. Thank you so much for watching this video. We pray that it was a blessing to you. I want to encourage you, every Thursday night we have a live stream at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on this channel. Every week we'll deal with things that happen in the news. We'll do question and answer time. We'll do giveaways, and many times we've been able to have live singing here on this channel, and you don't want to miss it. The Lord has blessed tremendously. We have a lot of people who listen from all over the world. So 9:00 every Thursday night, Eastern Standard Time, 9:00 p.m. here on this channel, and we'd love to see you guys there. And God bless you, friend. Thank you very much. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you again soon. God bless you guys. Hey guys, your friend Spencer here. A couple years ago, the Lord laid on my heart to do some research into the contemporary Christian music world, and I was astounded at what I found. I just found so many unbelievably unbiblical things, even some demonic things that were happening. And the Lord led me to put all that into a book form, and this is the book we have written, Calling Evil Good, the live Christian rock and roll. And as far as books that are dealing with the negative and the dangerous aspects of contemporary Christian music, this book right now is the #1 seller as of the time of the recording of this video. And so we want to put this out there, let you know about this book. This book will be shipped to your front door by Amazon, and we've had so many good reports from all over the world, really, of people saying that, man, this book really opened up my eyes to the truth of this entire industry. And we deal with people like Hulk Hogan, Britney Spears, Beyonce, Amy Grant, Alice Cooper, Elvis Presley, Larry Norman, R. Kelly, Puff Daddy, and all the record companies really all together. We deal with the whole big spectrum. So get your copy today. There's a link in the description below, and I know this book will help you understand the issue better and understand why this is an issue. So God bless you, friend. Hope you enjoyed the book. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and look forward to many good updates with you in the future. God bless you.